Celebrate Recovery is a ministry that we've been doing for several years, and it's on Tuesday nights at 6:30 here at our Whitehall campus, and there's some other things that we do in that ministry. But so these guys sent me some questions, and I'm going to ask you your questions. These are things that you want our church body, our church family to know about this ministry and how important it is to us. And so I'm going to ask the question. A couple people respond, just whoever wants to go first, all right? How did you get involved with CR, Celebrate Recovery? How did you get involved?
Oh, okay. I actually got involved not for myself, but I went in support of someone who had a drug addiction, not realizing at all that CR was more than that. And so I went in hopes to get them well. And I walked through those doors actually a little embarrassed and ashamed, thinking that people would also think I had a drug addiction, because that's what you went to CR for, right? But as I was there, I saw that it was so much more, and that I too was bound up with different things. And even though some of my stuff may not have been as obvious as a drug addiction, I was bound up with fear and insecurity and codependency and enabling, and the list goes on and on and on. Things that were keeping me from being everything that God had created me to be. And so I actually went for someone else, but stayed for myself.
Well, good story. Somebody else.
I actually started as a serving opportunity. Wanted to make sure that I stayed plugged in. It was during a darker time in my life. And like Shannon, I quickly realized that I was not there just for a serving opportunity. Ended up that the Lord used Celebrate Recovery to set me free of a lot of things that I'd carried around.
Someone else.
I actually came to this church and walked through the doors of Celebrate Recovery within a month. It was then called Extravagant Love, but I was actually drawn there, and it was my shame and my guilt of the past and hurts of the past, but I had no idea why I was being drawn there. But it was there that I received my healing.
So just for me, hearing, when you see recovery, Celebrate Recovery, like Shannon, you think, well, it's just a couple things, right, that you recover from. But I just heard you guys mention a whole bunch of things, right? You mentioned some things that maybe you went for somebody else, but then you're like, oh, there's some things in me that are not fully where they need to be. Some, as CR says a lot, hurts or habits or hang-ups, Okay, so here's a second question. I've seen you guys do this, and you actually gave me one time. So what are these chips that you guys pass out? Are they for the casino that's in town, or how's that work? Because I don't know if that's right or not, but anyway. Well, what are these chips that you have?
Now, Pastor, there can be a chip for the casino.
Oh, yeah.
If that's what you need the chip for, okay. But what the chip is, it just serves as a reminder that we are not in our recovery alone. It's something tangible that you can hold on to, just to let you know that God is with you every step of the way. The first Tuesday of every month, we celebrate. If you feel like it's time for you to go up to the next chip, great. If not, if you need to just hold on to that one a little while longer, we sing, celebrate good times, come on. And it's just, we're ready. It's just God moving, and just something, like I said, something tangible for us to hold on to as a reminder that we are not in our recovery fight alone.
Yeah, a reminder. Yeah, so a Post-it note is going to remind me of some very important things. But there are scripture verses we put on our walls in our homes. There are crosses that we hang. There are different things we all have to remind us of maybe where we've been, where we've come from, and probably where the Lord's taken us as well, not to give up. So what else? So anything else about those?
Well, the coins, they graduate each month, and then when you get 11 months under you, next month you've got a 12-month coin, which goes from a little plastic coin to a bronze coin. And it is a big deal to get to the bronze coins, because that means I've gone a full 12 months of not indulging in whatever hurt or habit or hang up that I'm laying out there. I've got a coin that I hang on my computer at work, and it reminds me to watch my mouth. When people come in and say stupid things, I just,
So you like put it in your mouth?
sometimes I need to.
That might work. You know, I was thinking about yesterday hurts, and sometimes people unintentionally hurt us. Sometimes we take on hurt that nobody is really hurting us, right? We're just hurt from, and they just happen to be the person, we blame them. And then sometimes, though, we get hurt in life, and we carry that with us, but sometimes that hurt, or allowing that hurt to stay in us, can actually hurt us more than the person who did the hurt, if that makes sense. So I think we allow ourselves to continue to be hurt, or sometimes we love that persona that we take on in that.
Well, a lot of times what we do is we get hurt and then we just bury it. And as we bury it, it starts to grow, and it creates a root, either a root of bitterness, a root of unforgiveness, or whatever. But then as that root starts to grow, we start creating habits. And we start doing things a certain way because somebody did something to me. Or we treat somebody a certain way because that's the way we were treated. And then from there, it grows into a hang-up, which could be the alcohol or the drugs or pornography or anger, or the list is unending. But the things that you see at the end are not the root. And that's what Celebrate Recovery is about, is dealing with the root.